We have with us today Irina. Irina, say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
Always a perfect day. I appreciate you being here with us today. We're talking about starving artists, 21st century, right? And we want to convert that to or compare and contrast to the road to entrepreneurship. First of all, give us a high level overview of your perspective on the modern day starving artist situation.
I would say that it's any creative, anybody who is looking into career of creatives, looking into development, design, writing, video editing, anybody who is in a creative field and is looking for work because right now, since COVID, they opened up the remote opportunities. And then they decided, oh, we're going to scale down. We're not going to do it anymore. And so many of us who are in the creative field, in the marketing field, we are either laid off, looking for opportunities, and competing with people that are laid off from better companies in the senior level, open to work for junior level. So that makes it difficult right now in the employment field to find a job.
Yeah, for many people. And you know, it's I got this saying that it's always the perfect day. And I think what we're going to be able to do here is we're going to be able to showcase how that's still the case even though the struggles are there and provide us with a destination that now gives us a new focus to actually get motivated behind and go after together, okay? So, let's look at the etymology of the word art real quick. All right. So the word art is actually, and an artist, of course, there is comes from art, right? So art is cunning and trickery, cunning and trickery, and I think that's really interesting because the word cunning is skillful and clever, right? Then you go into trickery, and
Yeah.
it's actually a thing done to deceive or cheat. So now we have a new meaning of what it means in 2024 to be a starving artist. A starving artist is skillfully killing things done to deceive or cheat. And when you look at what a starving artist is going through, right, it's really about standing on their own, their passion and creativity, their personal expression, the escapes and their own coping mechanisms, the inspiration and the influence behind what drives us to be artists, whether you're a digital creator or a painter, right? Or a musician. It's about your identity exploration. You want to go for a desire and impact, the love of the craft, and even just simple communication. And the reason why I think this is a very good place to start is because that entire list, notice money or currency wasn't on the list of the top reasons people become artists or go into these various crafts, but they're all being, or there's all an attempt to be suppressed, controlled, manipulated by a perceived authority figures on a government level, gatekeepers, whatever you want to say. That's
We
hand.
still got to eat.
Yes. So now that we've put that on the table and we've redefined what it is to be a starving artist, the starving artists are starving what needs to be starved out of the community so we can be closer to freedom and sustainable communities. And that's why we're in the position we are. Because the ones that aren't starving, they obviously went along with the programs, right? So now let's talk about that for a moment. Let's get on this iceberg here. What does that do for your envision of
What do you
the pain
mean?
and suffering and the hurdles and obstacles?
So I feel like that because we're going through the pain and suffering and hurdles and challenges, and that the system is set up to favor those who are representing themselves better, who are connecting better. It makes us better as communicators. Makes us better as artists. It's just improving us. It's not at all like something that should be changed by the government that everybody gets a job. It's just it is what it is, and I think that that's great. great system right now that we're going through. It's just the way it's set up uh, from going to college into finding your first job or finding your improvement in the job, finding a place where you get paid better in a better opportunity. Some of the things are not very lined up to the skills because I'm a graphic designer,
Mhm.
and I started working at a one of the best real estate mortgage companies, Loan Realty Group over here. And they've been paying me $18.50 an hour. I said, okay, that's what a in and out burger flipper gets paid. Can I get 25? I said no. Even though the team, the department, they wanted to keep me as an artist, I did great. But in the corporate structure, what their scale of the job, it was not worth $25 to them. So I decided, sorry, I'm gonna go work at the Olive Garden at the restaurant, make my good $30 an hour in tip, and I'm good.
Right. So now, with that being said, they're saying they don't value you to the level that they actually exploit you, right? The talents, because they take your talent, just like a lot of other positions in corporate America, they take your talent, they give you X, and then they go and make 10, 15, 20X off of it. So now, when the problem is not that though, the problem is the opportunity is that we need to go to the community, which is why I'm really interested in what you do, and we'll get to that in a moment. We need to go to the community and start to condition and massage the community to understand the value of the people we have around us in our community, so that you can then break free from 1850 and not have to go to the restaurant field, but be able to go to your community and say, hey, look, the talents I have contribute to the success of the community. This is my value. And we can go from where we're at now to the whole community being multi-million-dollar revenue streams if we work together and you invest in me and let me invest in you doing what I enjoy doing or you enjoy doing and people like us enjoy doing, the starving artists. What happens, and then let me know what you think about this, is especially in the early stages, there's a lack of consistent income for starving artists because of these discrepancies and appreciation on both sides, whether it's corporate America or our own communities. Now, how many Picassos are working at Olive Garden that'll never become Picasso because they're trying to actually keep their lights on?
A lot. There are many people who are creatives who are working at Olive Garden and at any other customer service basic position where they have a degree, they have skills, they have talents, and most of the time they're spending 40 hours a week as an hourly job just to pay the bills.
Yeah. And do you think there's a reason, like we meant, like we opened up with, do you think there's a connection between the psyche of a creative and skillfully choosing a non-conventional path or resisting the societal pressure to become normal job people? And is there a freedom aspect to that? Isn't it freeing?
Along with the job, that's just 40 hours. We still have, well, out of 24 hours in a day, you sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, and you have some time left over to do what you love to do as a hobby. When it picks off, then you quit a job and that's what you do. You do art or something else that you like.
So
But
so so for an artist, it's or for many, so okay, so the way the system is set up, many people don't get to enjoy what they actually find joy doing full time. You're saying there's got to be a sacrifice, and that's the same thing with artists, right?
oftentimes, something that does not bring money, you still have to pay the bills, you still have to supply an income to your family, and that's what you sacrifice. You sacrifice what you love, you sacrifice the passion.
A little bit of a technical glitch there. Um, so we are sacrificing like many other industries, like many other personnel, and there's an element of freedom though that comes from that sacrifice of being able to pick your own jobs, right? the gigs you want to support, the gigs you want to work on, and build your legacy and reputation over time with the freedom of choice.
You still have the freedom to do what you want with the time that you get for the money that you earn at the job that gives you money. It pays the bills. It gives you some time to do what you love.
Okay. Okay.
It's
So
temporary.
so with that, the one of the benefits of having a job that um is not as convenient for people that are trying to pursue their artistry full time and struggling that way is the access to healthcare and benefits. So how does that affect someone that's really, because we've identified that there's two sides, and I think you can take the route of wanting to balance it with a work life career, which reduces your potential to really dive into your projects or your artist part, right? We get that. And then there's the other side of the people that are out there that are wanting to fight the battle full time, and they're actually struggling and starving that way because they're depending fully on their craft for survival. So that group is going to have limited access to affordable health care and other benefits. How does that factor in, do you think, to the growth and development of an artist in the 21st century?
If you take a look at what I know in the US, we have systems set up for people that don't make a lot of income who are self-employed. There is healthcare, the affordable healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid. So the basic healthcare is provided. And if you qualify, it's free because you are making your own income. If you show your tax returns for multiple years, or show that, okay, I'm making pretty much this much, they look at how much you made and they say, yep, you qualified, you're good, and you keep pushing that way. If it's enough for you to not only um, buy the materials and support the business that you're doing on your own time as a self-employed person making a living. If it's enough for the food, the main thing is housing. If
Hmm.
it's enough for the housing, there is no support, not much support for housing for somebody who's self-employed. If you're self-employed, go ahead and make money. um, but healthcare is supplied here. I don't know about other countries. Some of them, they have free access to healthcare. Some of them, I think other countries have it better than the US, actually.
And some the storms going on around the country, it's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
But so we're doing good here. And then you got the high competition. So now you got the high competition in the artist field itself, right?
Mhm.
If you're a graphic designer, like we share that passion, that enthusiasm, logos, stuff like that. You go on Fiverr. Fiverr started what for based on finding gigs, people doing gigs for $5. Everything's at a race to the bottom. So I did a video on that a while back about how, just a quick example, if a project or a product was normally $100 in the start, and then this person says I can do it for 95. This person comes along, I do it for 70, and the next thing you know, it's $5.
Mhm.
That's $95 that's robbed from circulating through the community, for that reduces quality. Now the vendors don't get support from other vendors because they don't have the investment in other companies to, all of that circulation dies off, and then the community is left barren and humble, right? So how does that play into, you mentioned that part of it, and then there's a competition for the jobs. Like you said, you got the economy's in a bad state, so now people that should be senior level are competing with you for entry level positions in a company because, well, transactional leadership got us here, right? But how does that, all that competition factor in and weigh heavy on the starving artists of the 21st century?
All right, the competition, first of all, to take the Fiverr into the picture and how big companies or medium level companies or small companies are using Fiverr or the free tools that are available for them to build their own website, build their own logos, create stuff that is low quality, but it's enough. It's enough for them. Uh, I would say it takes off from the economy that it's not directly going into the artist. graphic designer, marketer, web developer, it's not directly going to them
Hmm.
to pay for their skill. It is going into staying in the business. So the business that they provide, they're able to put more money into things that either that they need to improve the income, to give it to the high stakes shareholders, to pay off their bills. So it is still staying in the economy because it stays at the hand of the business. It's not, though, going into the hands of the artists because the artists have more competition. The clients have more opportunity to find alternatives to for free or cheap. And our job is to be able to adapt to that situation because that's not going to change. Things are going to become easier. AI is going on. Things are going to become cheaper. Things that we've done before, like riding people on horses. Before the taxi was on horses, before the taxis existed, right now Uber exists.
Hmm.
And it's just evolution of things that the artists have been doing to what artists need to be doing and how they need to market themselves, what they need to use, that they need to adapt with the technology, adapt with the tools, become faster, adapt with the global economy too. Because people who are in India and people who are in US, they have a different amount that they have to spend to live, but uh, they can afford to charge less. The people who are in US, they have to charge higher. People who are in India, they can charge lower. They're fine. And both of those people, person in India and person in the US, they can have the same amount of skill. Or the person in India can have better skill and charge less than a person in the US have less skill and has to charge more. All it is, it's about the person who is an artist being able to get attention, being able to market themselves. People are in India, they're really good at marketing themselves through Fiverr, through Upwork. They're really good, very skilled, very crafty. People in US, because we go through school, because we get a bachelor, because we have the environment, because we have the connection, because we go next door and we say, "Hey, I can make you a logo, buddy," and they're like, "Oh, you're right here. I can see you."
Hmm.
And they go ahead. So it's a matter of visibility. It's not a matter who's cheap or who's not. It's a matter who's marketing, who's not.
I think you bring up a lot of great points that actually showcase, because I'm a fan of there's everything's a gift and a curse at the same time. So the gift and curse of, let's say, that competition between the US, India, and other countries in the world on a price range. Well, part of the elements of being able to be successful in marketing is price point to certain buyers, right? Some buyers, for example, Pepsi paid $1.2 million for their logo. It's a circle with a smiley face in three colors. You probably know this, being a graphic designer. They won't, if that company that did that logo for them said, "Hey, we'll do it for 50 grand," they would have turned them down, because Pepsi is in the mindset of, I need to pay top dollar for risk mitigation, right? That's a mindset difference versus the community that we're built on, because, like you said, the companies want to going to pay the average artist or even employee now, basically the lowest they can to get them to stay on board. You're building this house of cards, like that picture I had up there. It's kind of shoddy looking, right? Here we go. But like you mentioned, they're keeping all of the revenue for them, right? The entities, the corporate government, the corporations, and the government, they have the cash flow. The
I,
people are fighting.
I don't want to have houses like that, honestly. I want to have really great architecture, just like we had in Rome.
Yes, yes, and just like ain't old America was had the same architecture as Greece and Romans. When you look at it,
Yeah.
they hid that from us. But anyway, that's another conversation. So what I'm getting at, the picture just represents that, you know, the business is being built on cheapness, right? So that sacrifices quality somewhere, and normally it's the quality of life of the employees or the associate or the contractors, like that they're subbing work out to, etc., get the short end of the stick. So then that means that affects the community, because again, there's no circulation, or the circulation is reduced. So what I was getting at is the mindset of, yeah, there's people in India that could do it for $5, because $5, I don't know what the exact ratio is right now, but let's say that's $500 to them, right? That's the equivalent of a small project here in the US. Um, the difference is we have, when I said earlier, we have to start to massage our community to appreciate the fact that we need to give the person next door to us the 500 and appreciate the fact that that's going to make the community sustainable, right? The same thing we saw during the last couple of years when the supply chains all crumbled because nothing was around the corner, right? We have to shift to that mentality of transformative leadership in all that we do. That's going to benefit the artists and other skills, whether you're a tax preparer or a financial thing. There's going to be computers and all this stuff that can do it, right?
Pasha, I disagree.
You disagree? Let me know.
Disagree.
So I like
I
it.
believe that the economy is global. I don't believe that our economy is just linked to the neighborhood. I believe that the
You're
earth
right.
has its own economy, and that's what we live with.
You're right in the fact that the economy is global, and saying you want to have a sustainable community doesn't prevent the economy from being global. It actually emphasizes the fact that the community radius can sustain itself. For example,
Hmm.
your transportation networks are global,
Yeah.
but it's much more challenging when you don't have your own car, right?
No, no, not really. I don't have my own car. I use public transportation just because it's free. I don't have to use gas. I don't have to have insurance. I'm actually, I love it.
Aside from the benefits that you, and again, the benefits that you see are only benefits because of our economic pulses, right? If gas was free, and because I'm a fan of get rid of the currency, period, because with the race to automation and with the race to AI, we're actually racing all of the things that are being produced are going to race to a zero point in cost of production.
And there is enough food to feed people all over the world, plus extra for the with the
Ex-
amount of waste that we have. There should be
exactly.
no hurdle.
Exactly. So now we're talking about the reality that technically our lives should be free and prepaid,
Mm.
right? Which would then open us up to as a human being species worldwide to only need to focus on whatever our creativity was, period, and or our spiritual and religious beliefs. But that's another conversation. But in the background, I'm a fan of getting rid of the currency because simply put, you can't have equality in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in a currency-based society. Now, go back to what you're saying. If gas was free, if you could go and pick whatever car you wanted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the question was, it's less convenient when you don't have your own car. Not that you can't work around it, not that there isn't benefits financially or this way or that way, but it's just less convenient.
What if Uber was free?
Exactly, that's my point. If we had a free society, right, then a lot of the starving artists would be able to
That
empower and
means
enrich and innovate.
we would not do jobs that we don't want to do.
Bingo. And that's what we
And
talked about
that's
earlier about the hidden
whole.
Picasso, right?
And then we have a hole. Like nobody wants to do a job that they don't want to do. And that's a hole because now we don't have janitorials.
Well, is it a whole? Because there are people that actually enjoy keeping things clean,
I would
right?
say
And
very few compared to the ones that are needed.
there would be a great reduction in a lot of industries, right? The way I describe that, which you bring up, which I really like, is I call that a return to necessity.
What I think is when we substitute it with robots, or when we substitute it with technology, those
Hmm.
jobs are just gonna go away.
Right.
The jobs that people don't want to do, they're just gonna go away.
Right. So that's going to leave the opportunity, like we said, for a lot of people to be jobless, like a lot more, right? Majority.
Jobless
Well,
and going into a job into a different profession, something that they want to do, or something that they're more talented in doing.
yeah, and they'll be able to find that because of the like. This is why you saw the beta test recently for what's coming universal basic income, right? And they called it the stimulus.
I
So
like
we're trending this direction, whether the public realizes it or not. They're already talking about 2030. You're gonna own nothing and be happy. But I want to give you opportunity here because this is great. This is great dynamics to look at what you're doing for the community right now with Azure Agency. Give us a high level overview of that and how that's actually helping leverage the gap between the businesses that are in a position where it's tight for them, but they
Mhm.
still need to add value to the community.
So Azure Agency. is a nonprofit of creatives. So we pretty much do creative work for free in exchange for good feedback, experience, and impact on people, on the society. Create good solutions.
Hmm.
I'm hoping for us to become a global leadership organization down the road, that this sustainable community happens all over the world, that we're just able to say, hey, say to our neighbor, hey, now you're building a business. I'm working with this company right here. They're nonprofit. They're not going to charge you. We have so many people right here that are going to help you. Let's go do it.
Right. Because one of the biggest things that artists are doing things for is the communication and connection. So it serves as a power art serves as a powerful form of communication, whether it's an app or a logo or even architecture, right? So the artist is drawn to connecting with others. And like we're talking about here, when you're struggling for in the beginning as a starving artist, it's a lot of people often do work for free in any industry or technology, right? Or talent to get a portfolio. So
We have
now
to
they can do
learn.
me.
We have to
Well,
learn because
order slows down, right?
my grandma taught me how to draw. I
Hmm.
learned how to draw because I loved horses and I wanted to draw horses. And my grandma and my older brother, they taught me how to draw. They taught me how to hold a pencil and how to sketch things. And I wanted to become an artist. And I knew that artists don't make much money. So when I married, I decided, hey, I need to make money. So let me find somewhere where it pays. As an artist, to make money, it pays out to be a digital artist, a graphic designer. So that's why I went into there. And there I discovered that graphic design is less of an art, more of communication with people, more of sales, more of psychology.
Hmm.
So I had to learn. I was not very good at talking with people. I had to go take public speaking classes. I was Russian. I couldn't speak English at all a few years ago.
Hey, look at the progress.
You have to learn it. You learn how to speak with people. You learn to not be afraid of public speaking. You learn to speak up. You learn to talk about your project, because usually graphic designers are like, hey, look at this logo right here, and that's it. That's my job's done.
Yeah,
We don't
those are the
talk about
yeah.
it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to present. We don't want to talk with a developer about how to get it done. Just show them the thing, and that's it. We have to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Again, that goes back to that communication. Not only is it the communication through the art, but the communication about the art. Like my logos, and I usually, oftentimes people that get logos, they need a tagline and a business card update. So the logo, tagline, and business card package come with 30 to 45 page design report at least, right? And then
Mhm.
that's all that high level communication. And to build on what you're saying, I actually over time found joy in producing the design report along with the steps of the logo, because it's like, wow, this is so great, explain, and it just adds the value because it creates the justification for everything. The client understands exactly why everything's the way it is, and it helps them talk their talking points to the brand and business. So we're looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, the extra effort is worth it because that's going to help make the community sustainable. We got to make our clients sustainable and give them the $1.2 million Pepsi design, even though their budget may only be 15,000, right? So we have to do that because for us, it's not really about the currency or the money or the payment
Mhm.
in that fashion. It's about our work, our purpose is to create so that the community can be there long term, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's part of what Azure is about, is making sure that the community is in a position long term to be able to continue to be a community and not end up one of these ghost towns that we see from Western movies that aren't there
Yeah.
anymore.
We don't want to go back into that, or that card house that you showed me right now. Don't want us building that. That'd be
Right.
terrible.
So this is why we have to look at being proud again, proud of our creatives, proud of our janitors, proud of everybody, because then they'll go back to the natural places that they enjoy. You know what I mean? And that's where the community will fit. And then we have a reduction of the unnecessary, and it's just a great time because then more people are enjoying themselves. Quality of life goes up for everybody. So let's talk about coping mechanisms, because a lot of this is just is artists do this to help as a coping mechanism. Many of them experience some sort of trauma, or they see trauma in the community, and they're looking to make the impact because they want to make the change. So Azor offers a great opportunity for those who want to help make a change and an impact, because you have a lot of businesses that they can work with, not only to build their portfolio but to actually make an impact. Talk about that.
Our volunteers can pick their client because pretty much anybody would want some work, some marketing, anything done for free. They can pick and choose. They can say, that company right there, I love what they're doing, I love their mission, their values align with it, I know that I can contribute along with some other people in the company. I can contribute to that company right there. And the management, the staff, or the volunteers themselves, they're going to go reach out to the company and say, hey, we want to help you out.
Mhm. So, what do you think? What right now are some projects that you would like to connect people with, that your, your clients? You have some high attentive.
Let me pull up my Discord.
Sure, and
It's been open
tell them
for
about
two weeks.
tell them about your website. How they can find your
Uh,
Discord on the website.
they can go on my azoragency.org, book a meeting with me, or they can go on a Discord, connect with volunteers, or post their projects over there. Right now, we're working with the LAEC. It's a Los Angeles-based nonprofit that is reducing the injustice, transforming the justice system, raising awareness about the legal matters, and helping first-time felons understand the process, the structure, and helps them mitigate the process as well. And we're working with them, taking over their marketing, pretty much editing one of the videos, because their marketing has slowed down because the founder had to go work on something else. So we pretty much are taking over their marketing right now.
Hmm.
Uh, that's one project. Another one is just recent. The person who's an agent for funding businesses and nonprofits. So financial company. We're building his websites, his SEO, so his online presence. We're working on that one. So there's a lot of opportunity for everybody who's in creative field to join our network and participate in these kinds of projects.
Absolutely, because it's an outlet for, again, here we go with these eight: communication and connection, the love of the craft. You could be designing stuff, helping build that, helping first time felons, and just doing something that you enjoy. There's a desire for the impact. So look at the impact you could be making there. Identity exploration. How can we take the negative perception of being a felon and actually give it a new image? Let's see who's out there ready to take on that challenge. Inspiration and influence. It's also going to help them returning. Imagine returning from a situation like that and seeing there's people waiting to help brand you and paint you in a different light to get you back into the system, get you back into the community, doing things that you enjoy too on your side. And again, this is going to be freedom and coping mechanisms for yourself, escape, personal expression could be added there, and there's always a passion for creativity. So it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win, right?
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. And that's why we need to get rid of the currency. Nah. But hey, look, I think, Irina, you made some great points today. This was a very powerful conversation. Do you have something that you want to focus on right now?
I've been focusing for these 2 weeks on being able to accept and get started right away 300 volunteers a day. Well, not 300, 3,000 volunteers a day. So that by the end of the year, we reach 1 million volunteers, and we have a million or more projects that are done, and successful case studies, successful stories. Right now, we're working on our application, the interactive map. We're working on the website. We're working on process that will help automate people's onboarding, clients onboarding, so that there is no money that's involved in the cost of it, and that it's it's robust enough, scaled enough that it's capable of receiving 3,000 applications in a day.
Okay, so you're building out. People can help you there. Now, what's the range of people you're looking for? Is like I remember being young and being a part of the summer youth program, right? So are you looking? Is there an age limit? And then is there like um like a talent, different levels of talents welcome? Explain that for the people that maybe.
I have a 17-year-old physics major right now coming on board. He's writing technical articles. I have an aircraft technician coming in on board, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, what are you going to do? Well, you can talk. You can write.
Mhm.
Let's go. Let's do it. So anybody who is willing, who wants to help other people, who wants to help the community, who is able to talk, communicate, write, or talk in the language that one of our volunteers talks, then they can join. They're fine.
Awesome.
uh, for the clients, we're going to be pickier because they can submit a project, but it really depends on the volunteers if they want to go and work on it.
Okay. Okay. So a workforce of at least 1 million people is the destination. And
Yeah.
like Simon Sinek says, once we agree on a destination, it makes it easier to overcome all obstacles, which is why we can do all things once we put our mind to it. We just got to agree to it. So, closing remarks.
What does it mean? Sorry, Russian.
Oh, final thoughts.
No, I just appreciate you coming in over here, having my breakfast. It was nice morning.
Yeah, yeah. Working lunch here, and I really appreciate what you're doing because, like I said, it gives people time and space to really think about it. This is going to be an element of the change we need. You're Although we may have different focal points on the state of the economy, should how fast can we get the free or not? Should we go free? Should we just go with their version of the free market right now? What you're doing is actually a representation of what the future could be like for all of us, right? The only thing we got to do is the other part that we talked about. That's a separate conversation though. So that's amazing. And it gives people outlets. Like imagine the person that's, look at it like this. What we know is that it's been proven that people are dying, thousands, tens of thousands of people every year because they simply had a job for 20 or 30 years in a toxic workplace that they didn't know was toxic. It affected their health, high cortisol levels, entire systems in their body shut down. Then they become a statistic of a heart attack or something later on in life, which would have been normally a perfectly healthy existence. Coming out of
I've
that,
been working.
an opportunity to volunteer here could offset that trajectory and extend life because you're doing things you enjoy. So there's infinite ways to benefit from this. Go ahead.
I've been working with with World Financial Group out of the Bay Area, and they're working with financial products, top financial companies in the U.S. and the world. And I've seen the big problem that baby boomers are facing right now. That's a lot of people who are older, who are retiring, who are supposed to retire, but they can't retire just because their money has been halved multiple times when the stock crashes. Them pulling it out, them needing it at a certain part of their life, them getting taxed
Mhm.
401ks, and there's no financial education out there either. So a lot of people they don't know.
Yeah. So it's a great time to, if you've ever wanted to become any of the artistic traits. Actually, everything is an art form, right? So just decide, study yourself for a little while, see who you are, who you want to be, what you enjoy doing, and start building your portfolio on projects, working with people around the community, working with Azure. Get help build your portfolio while making an impact in the community, and let's actually build a sustainable community in the global economy.
Yes, not just the local one. You're talking, let's go to your neighbor and then pay him $500 when you can go online and hire somebody for better stuff for $5.
So okay, so what? All right, so now that we're there, I mean, I feel you. So what is the long term gain there, right?
Long term gain?
Yeah, by
is the
paying.
quality. You're talking about the quality, not building the card houses. We want to build the Rome houses, right? So if a person for $5 can build your Rome house for $5, and then you keep your for 495, and then you spend 495 to build 10 more Rome houses, why would you do
Mhm.
that?
I think the that's a great point. And when you look at the infinity of it, what happens when you look at people generally speaking, right, is they only want to do what's required of them. So now, if you know you can build that Rome house for $5, you're only going to expend $5 worth of innovation into into our community. You're only going to expend what it takes for you to get the $5 worth of. You know what I'm saying? So now the community becomes a $5 community instead of the $5 million community that it would have been if everybody just was like, "Yo, this is what I enjoy doing. This is what it's worth. You're doing that over there. It's 10 million. That's 500. That's now we getting
Really,
everything for $5.
really depends. If you pay $5 for a person that spends $5 on a coffee, yes. If you spend $5 to a person that lives in the United States, spend it on a coffee.
Exactly. Five
Spend
dollars for coffee. You want a $5 logo.
to a person who's in India, and $5 for them is pay a month worth of living. That's like spending $2,000 over here. So the value of it is way different when you spend $5 into the India. For them, it's valued so much more. So that means that with $5 over there, you pretty much spend $2,000, and they're gonna build you 2,000 worth of a project. Here, you spend $500, they give you $500 worth of the product, so you pretty
Right.
much quadrupled the value.
Right. So, and then that's a great thing because let's say, are you when you let's say we're doing a logo, right? You're doing a logo for a client. How do you bill? How do you charge from a business standpoint? I had this conversation with a lot of business owners, regardless of industry. How do you bill for your? Do you have like a set price? The logo is X amount of dollars.
For the minimum, I have the set price. For the maximum, I go look at the person, look at their company, and I'm estimating how much the logo is going to improve their situation. Out of that, I value how much you charge.
Right, and that's called charging per the value to the client, not the value to ourselves. So because I operate the same way, there will be times where you do a logo or you can choose to do a logo for free. Hey, I really want to help this person out. I'm in a position. It's going to be, whatever. Maybe I'm creative, whatever, help them out, help the community. I got time. It'll put me in this, like you said, doing free work. It'll put me in this arena that I wasn't in before. All kinds of infinity things come
Still,
out.
same quality.
Right. Same
I'm
quality. You're still going to
at
do your
how much
design.
value I can give them and give maximum as much
Right.
as.
Right. Because really you have your reasons for doing it. The same way that if the logo's worth 25,000 to them, then that's going to be what they give you for that. So the people that are looking for the $5 logo on Fiverr are actually a different quality of client to begin with, right?
Mm, they're the same people. So the people who are looking for a logo on Fiverr or who are looking to create their own logo, they're people closed-minded. They're in a circle of scarcity. They're in a circle of, oh my God, I'm starting a business. I don't have enough money. They're thinking not from a perspective, there's so many people out there and we're going to impact so many people, not from a positive perspective. They're
Mm-hmm.
thinking of it as, I got so much money, I have to hold on to it because I'm going to starve.
Right.
So when the people are thinking out of there, I've been there before too. Uh,
We
they,
all have.
they don't want to spend, they want to hold on
Yeah.
because they don't know how they're going to pay the bills next month. And I understand it definitely. That's why Azure wants to expand those people and show them, hey, you don't have to pay anything. You have unlimited possibilities. You have so much good opportunity coming your way. And when it rains for them, or when they see that it's going to rain for them, their whole mindset, their whole perspective is going to change. It's just a matter of perspective. It's not a different kind of person.
Right. And I appreciate that because that's that shift in the community, that the mentality, as I was saying, of the community to appreciate it. So now, instead of that person feeling like they're starving because they're isolated and by themselves, surrounded by everybody, the community comes together and helps them get on board because the community knows, hey, you're starting a holistic health company, so
There
we gotta help you. So the community has holistic health, right?
There are people though who make a lot of money and who are still in a scarcity mentality that I gotta hold on to my money. I'm making $20 million a year, but I still have to hold on to my money. Tomorrow I'm gonna starve because they've been through ups and downs. They know that they can lose it and they're
Well,
afraid of
you're okay. So let's address it from the actual quantum physics of it with the word pay. Okay, because everything you're saying is true, and what I'm saying is true is all part of the same equation. It's
it.
infinite. So, but here's what makes the difference: the word pay, the vibration, the frequency of the word pay, is actually to satisfy, and then comma, especially when dealing with money. So now what happens is when you're dealing with a person that says, "Hey, I want I my overall satisfaction is making sure that the people around me's lives are great." Those are going to be the ones who fight to be in place to say, here's the $2,000, because I need you to be able to go give the people around you 1,900 of it over a period of time so that they all eat and build strong Roman homes and architecture, right? And eat quality meals, right?
Mhm.
The person who's focused on satisfied is themselves, regardless of what state they're in financially, is going to be the ones looking for the $5 because they are in that scarcity mindset. So I'm gonna feel like I don't have, I want you to feel like you can't have, nobody has, right? This is why you see the people like look at the old lady around the corner who has very little of nothing getting by, but will offer you tomatoes when you walk by from her garden. You see? That's
They
the
still want
difference.
to help. They still want to contribute. The things that they don't feel that they're worsening their situation, they still want to be good. They still have values. They have family values. They have religion values. They have being good values, being faithful values. They still have other values other than let me protect myself.
Right. So what we're dealing with on the high level overview infinite equation spectrum is what that individual's perspective of satisfaction is to them.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll never be able to say no, something isn't existing, because we can get a critical mass of mindset. We can go out there and have a campaign and get people to get on board with thinking a certain way, but there'll always be an infinite spectrum. So again, that's part of what Azor is doing. It's actually paying forward, right? It's satisfying the future of our economy, satisfying the future of our communities, and you get to be a part of that. Reach out to Irina. Irina, say bye to the people.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me here.
Always the perfect day. My pleasure. Great talk. I really appreciate your mindset, what you stand for, what you're working towards as a goal. And I'll be in contact to see what we can build together. Okay.
Cheers.
Pasha Paro. Thank you for